Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering another Monster High movie, this one titled Haunted.
Yes.
That's a pretty simple title this time.
Yes. And this movie takes a different turn as it focuses on the school journalist Spectra Vondergeist as she's forced to return to her old school haunted high after Dracularua is being haunted.
Yes. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell updates on future podcasts and multiple pause videos.
Yes. Now this movie is different from every other movie in the franchise. And unfortunately, for us, it's the only one we don't care for like we love the others.
Right.
And why, before anyone goes why and wonders, is because we are taken out of the land of Monster High, where it's fun, freaky flaws and all, and imaginative, to a high school that's full of dead children.
And I know you don't want to think about that, but unfortunately, that's how this universe works. So that's something, unfortunately, in the back of our minds that we couldn't get past. Now, we do know this is, I think, one of Sylvian's favorite films.
Sorry.
And, you know, it's totally fine that you love it. There are some pretty good things about it.
I was going to say, there's lots of good things about it, but the only reason it's the least favorite is because you're brought to that realization that all these are kids who really lived and they're gone.
Yeah, whereas it's a ghost school.
Right. Whereas in every other Monster High movie, you're dealing with, you know, the children of monsters.
Right.
Whom they are, and they've never been alive, and something tragic has happened to them. And for me, this is like Casper. Now, like a lot of people did, I watched Casper as a kid. I watched it. I thought it was fun. And then happened to be watching TMZ one day. And Rascal heard it and I didn't. And I never thought about it. And Rascal helped to ruin Casper for me forever.
Sorry.
And this movie as well, when she said, you do realize Casper was a kid who died.
Yeah.
And it was
it's
like,
not just...
that never hit me. And I thought about it, I was like, I'll never see Casper the same way again. I don't ever want to see Casper again.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's how haunted hits you. Now that we've said that, let's get to the great things about this movie. Because it is a Monster High movie. And there are some great aspects of it, as always.
Right.
The fashion, of course. The unique characters. The ghouls.
The fact that they actually made an interesting story out of someone that's outside of the main cast.
Stars.
The man stars.
Yeah, that's true. Someone who isn't, as you said, normally getting the focus, got her own movie. So that was a good thing.
Right.
Definitely. And you like Spectra.
Right. And you got some new characters that were pretty interesting, like River Styx and Dobluna, and seeing all these new spooky characters at the ghost school was actually interesting to see. And they were all different colors still and everything. And some of them were in time warps. They were still in certain time periods, and they brought that to the school. That was pretty funny. And animation was still very well done. And I think they knew it was kind of a different film because there wasn't as much comedy in here. More of the dialogue had to be the source of the comedy because where they were going, they told you it was not fun like Monster High. It was exclusively for ghosts. It was very strict. It was almost like going to one of those private academies where they're not going to take any sort of nonsense whatsoever or anything that was outside of their rules.
And I think what was another good part about this movie is you got to see Spectra. You know, you usually see, before I get to that, Ghoulie is the one with the brains.
Yeah.
And she figures everything out, and she's brilliant. But you got to see Spectra also is really intelligent and can figure things out and has all these skills you really don't know about because normally she's a secondary character. So I really did like that about this movie because you got to really even love her even more after seeing this.
Right. And they do have their brand of action and story in there too. We know the plot is figuring out who is haunting Dracularua, and that's a bit spooky there itself, but they still try to make some fun out of it and try to make an engaging story. And as you said, there's still a happy ending at the end, I guess I should say. So it's not like it ends on a downer because of the different tone. It's just like, we're going to take the story a little more seriously, but still have a good outcome.
Definitely. And I would have been happy if the reboots, either one, had taken this route. Because what we're getting, again, isn't Monster High. Now again, Haunted has a different feel. It is a different type of Monster High story.
Right.
But in essence and in the end, it's still a Monster High movie. It doesn't lose that. It's just they took a different route and probably had a different writer who created this story and created this world within the Monster High universe.
Right.
But it was really different from what you see because, as we pointed out, you don't have all of the fun and the nonsense and the goofiness and those things that are a part of every other Monster High movie and web stories. This one was really, really different.
Right.
And it looks like they wanted to maybe to branch out and try to do something that maybe took everyone by surprise.
Right.
And I
more
think
story based.
Right. And I think also maybe they were trying to do something different because the target audience was getting a little older.
Yeah.
So maybe that was another reason as well.
Right. Because as these movies got further on, you could tell the feel was beginning to change. The final movie they had before the reboot, even though they didn't need one, was Great Scary Reef. And while we did enjoy that film, we felt like something was very off about it. Like it was missing a little bit of the fun and just had its story and its setting. So it looks like towards the end with Haunted and Scary Reef, they wanted to appear a little more mature, I guess.
And maybe that's why they decided to reboot. But then when they did the reboot, the first one, not the one that's currently out, they went for an even younger audience than they went for the first time around.
Right.
So if you were making these type of movies that were different and becoming a little more serious, a little more story-based, maybe addressing the audience getting older, why on earth would you reboot it the first time and go for really little kids? It just didn't make any sense.
Right.
And even though this is a different type of Monster High movie, again, it still works within the franchise. The frame of it and all the different rules apply.
Right.
All the same rules, I should say, apply to every other Monster High movie.
Right.
You still had beautiful fashion. You still had characters that were unique, that were different. You still had them within the Monster High universe, but as you said, in their own school. And they explained to you why they were there and how they got there and what the purpose of that school was. Now, no, you don't see any other Monster High characters there. That was different.
Yeah. And, it's great for them for trying to do something different and being experimental. We're not going to fault them for that at all, and appreciate that they were trying to give you something different, because each movie felt different, especially when they got from this to Boo York, which was completely 180, where it was nothing but fun and craziness. So it looks like they were just trying certain things, see what worked, and if there's audience that likes this type of movie, then it works, and if not, then they got 13 other movies to watch and see what's their niche.
Right. And with that being said, it's still a great Monster High movie.
Yes.
That doesn't take away from the perfection of the franchise. Doesn't take away from, again, it being a Monster High movie.
Right.
That's just the one aspect about it that we didn't care for that makes it the least favorite. But there's no way we're going to tell you this is a bad movie, you shouldn't watch it. Every Monster High movie from the original franchise should be watched because every single one is great in its own way.
Right.
Absolutely. So if you have seen Haunted, let us know what you think in the comments below, Sylvian and everyone else. And if you haven't, it's available to buy on Amazon Prime. I'm sorry, not Amazon Prime. It's available to buy on Amazon. They got great prices still for the Monster High original franchise movies.
Right.
Give it a watch. Come back and let us know what you think as well.
Right. If you haven't already, subscribe for updates, weekly videos, and your favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. So continue being your beautiful selves, freaky flaws and all.
Yes. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Masculine Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.